Hi folks, welcome back to the Hoard. That one says 33, which makes it about freezing. This one says 32.9, which makes it about freezing. Anyway, today is November 25th, Monday. It's about 0 for my friends overseas. It's about freezing for our friends here in the United States. It's about 3:45. I'm just going to wrap it up for today. Let me show you how far I've got. I've got the outer rail here. Oops. Sorry about that, folks. I got the outer rail here. Goes to the end. It's hooked up. It's plated, so to speak. Now it's a matter of putting up the inner rail and the crosses and put the flake board on top, and then we get to put it together. I built both lifts. I bought 2 of these things. See, 1, 2. I bought them both, and I used the platform only to get this guy up. Because it was sitting on the platform, it was in the way, and I just said, you know what, screw it, and I ended up just dragging it on up there by hand. Quite the balancing act, I might add. My physician, I'm sure, would be horrified if he saw that, but you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I mean, this is solid. It's not going anywhere. Obviously, if you start cleaving these things out, it's not staying up for very long. With the weight on it, depending on how much weight I put here, if you lose this one, it may or may not stay up. It might just, because I got a knot here, it might just snap and fall. I basically put these supports every 6 foot. So there'll have to be another one in the middle there somewhere. So once again, I got to put the inner rail, the cross, drop the flake on top, and then I'm ready to continue on down. Musty One had a good suggestion. Unfortunately, I've waited too long, and now I'm into winter, so I really can't take his suggestion. But he said what he did when he wanted to set up his garage, he completely emptied it, covered it with a tarp, and then brought stuff in and put it where it fit the best, and that gives you enough room to move some things around and figure some things out. If I was going to do that, I should have done it over the summer. Instead, I bought more bikes than I could store over the summer, and now I'm having trouble putting everything away. So far, I've gotten, this is one of the new ones. The 2 that were in the back of the truck earlier this week. So I just popped that in there. That's one of the ones from last year, I guess, I would say. So I still have this one from last year and that one from last week to put away. So those 2 will go on top. Then what's going to happen is the guy without the wheels, the 250, the TRX 250, I'm going to take the tires off of that one and pop that up on the end over here. That'll be this guy. Where is it? There you go. That guy is going up with the tires on it. This thing is only a parts bike. It's only ever going to be a parts bike. My problem is I don't want it to be a parts bike that lives outside, so I do want to get it inside and get it properly cared for. As you guys could see, I wanted to go upstairs, so I have the attic stairs down. So this video is kind of all over the place. When I get tired, I get all confused and disoriented and start rambling and talking stupid. This tractor ran. I actually drove it up here, but then it got kind of buried. I haven't driven it. in a while. The gas still smells good. I can probably just put fuel in it and she'll fire right up. This one here supposedly ran. The guy let it sit around for a little while, and it went into disrepair from that. It's got one of the big monster Olens on it. So I don't think that's going to stay on there. What I've been thinking about doing for this thing is actually putting a pair of those Predator engines, those 6.5 horsepower engines on it, having two, because they're only $100 each, and that way if one of them starts, it can kind of force the other one to start, or it'll tear the other one up trying to start. And anyway, I just thought a tool engine tractor would be cool. That's an old Bolens. Belonged to somebody's father who passed on, unfortunately, and eventually it was just sitting in a backyard getting all rusty and trashy, or collecting patina, depending on how you look at it. And anyway, I ended up with it eventually. I gave a guy a few bucks for helping me move it over. It was basically a freebie. I just paid for some transport. This Bolens, I bought this at a flea market, and it has become a complete disappointment. Tried to get it started, needs a starter, so I got the starter, got it started. It's got a blown up mower deck. The right angle transport, those Bolens right angles. So I got another one of those for it, and I just never finished putting it back together again. These Bolens, for those of you who have experience with them, they are heavy tractors. They are typically noisy tractors, though that one should be a little quieter, especially if they have those old Wisconsins on them. Oh my God, they'd wake the dead, those old Wisconsins. Good engine, run forever, but man, were they loud. So it always seemed, I've had them and gotten rid of them, and then bought this new set that you now see. What I'd like to do is, when all is said and done, I would like to be able to blow snow with it, with one, and I would like to, particularly that guy there, cut grass. I mean, and have enough spare parts to be able to do that for a while. I think they're really, really great for blowing snow. They got this thing on the other end here. If you reach in and turn it, and it gives you, it takes you from differential, where each wheel is, you're fed from the center, and each wheel could spin. And if for making turns and all, it makes it real easy to, as you tighten that, it tightens up the differential, and you can work your way to the point where the wheels are actually like pinned together, like a diffie lock, I guess, differential lock. Which you put chains on it, and you want to plow snow, you put some weights on it. It's really, really good for that. Which is what that guy out there should really get dragged in here real soon, and that should happen to it. But the topic of this video really isn't Bolens tractors. I just got sidelined. To use these things for the remainder of loading the shelf, I built this table thing, right? By the way, Pug did a better job building a steel table than I did with this. Though it seems sturdy enough, and I did use it for the blue frame, the blue guy, that guy, the one closest to the door now. I just set this up on the platform on these guys, and then it's only a couple of foot off the ground, so it's easy enough for me to put the front wheel on, and then to jackass the back end up and roll the rest of the bike right on. That's why I took the handle off here, by the way. Makes it easier to just kind of roll it on. And that's what I'm going to probably do with the rest of it. My thoughts were, now that I own these things, is it's like, oh crap, I got to put these away somehow, somewhere. And it looks like easily enough this piece, I mean, it just slides out, right? This piece slides right out. Then that's all you have. And like that piece there, it'll slide right under the International there. And then I got this other Bolens. Oh, I've been meaning to drag it out back. But anyway, or underneath the Sears ST16 over there, I'll slide those two under. The table, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with the table. You know, it's tempting to just kind of suspend it in the space in between the garage doors. You know, a couple little pulleys and haul it up there and get it the heck out of the way. Because I don't want to leave it outside. It'll get kind of wrecked outside, and if it's kind of suspended up out of the way over there, it won't be bothering me. Once the shelf is loaded, the spare units are out of here. Right along here, I'm probably going to put, you know, these 3 bikes. And once I do that, I'll basically have garage door to garage door free to get in and out of. I still got to find a home for like these tires. I can't build any more sheds. I think if I build another shed, my wife might just remove my manhood and feed it to a dog somewhere or something. So I can't consider building another shed. I don't know. I might just pull that thing in for the winter. She starts easily. She rolls easily. But it only goes forward. It does not have a reverse. So though it hauls those tires like no tomorrow, if you want to go backwards, you got to push it, or actually it's easier to pull with one of the quads. Tomorrow, just to do a little highlighting here, a little foreshadowing. Probably what I'm going to do is I'll plug this thing in overnight, the tug, and what we're going to do is we're going to fire it up. I bought, if you look at the front tires there, they're kind of trashy, especially when it gets real cold. I'm afraid of popping while I'm out in the middle of the driveway. So I did buy new tires for it. I gotta put those on the front. The back ones look like they'll get me through the winter, I think. I do have, this thing had dualies on it. I took one of the dualies off. The inner dually I took off. The reason why is I only had single chains, and if you put a single chain on there, what happens is the outer dually was digging a hole, and then it would come down and the inner dually would sit down on the ice and buff the ice, and then you couldn't go anywhere. Yeah, it's getting to be the time when stuff freezes to the ground. Yeah, I think that's just sunk in. Hopefully I'll just be able to pump it up and get that out. That one's still holding air. Once again, worst comes to worst, I'll put an inner dually turned around backwards on it and run it that way to get through. But that guy is supposed to move to the parking spot next to the Ranger here. I'm basically, it's a strange way to say this, but I'm like running out of time 2 different ways. I only have another couple of weeks till my surgery. The date isn't completely nailed down, but it looks like the middle of the month. So that runs me out of time. It'll be probably about a 6-week recovery. So I have to deal with that. And the other problem I'm running into is I'm running out of weather. As time is passing, you know, stuff is freezing to the ground. So I better like where I left it, because it's not going anywhere if I leave things out much longer. Very shortly, I'm going to have to cruise the property, take note of what is where, raise it up enough so that the tires don't go bad and it doesn't freeze to the ground, and then you know, tarp it where it sits, so to speak. Is that ideal? The answer is no. But when you hoard and you end up with too much crap to put away and the cold weather's coming, you don't have a lot of choice, do you? Okay, folks. I'm going to start shutting down for the day. Remember, live, love, have a great time. Don't forget, tires down, handlebars up. And I think the test for whether or not you have a real hoard is, can you put all your crap away? If the answer is no, you can't put it away because you have too much crap, you're a crazy hoarder. And maybe you should get counseling. All right, folks. Thanks for watching, subscribing, commenting, and we'll see you tomorrow.